What up, YouTube? I hope y'all are having a blessed, great day. Today, I got a video that I'd like to watch with y'all and give my thoughts on it. It's kind of related a little bit to my last video with where I went kind of into the whole left versus right and you know system and whatnot. But it's a little bit dark, but I think it's pretty good. And yeah, let's jump right into it. And fuck this goddamn big ass pimple on my nose. All right.
There are people waking up this morning who didn't want to. Not in the poetic sense, actually not wanting to wake up because of their life conditions. They opened their eyes and felt something collapse inside them, a quiet devastation that the alarm was right, that the night was over, that it begins again. They'll shower, dress, commute, answer emails, nod in meetings, laugh at things that aren't funny, come home, stare at a screen until the brain finally surrenders to sleep.
Bro, tell me that doesn't feel like a lot of people, dude. We're all just wearing masks at work, like, hey, how are you doing? Good. Bro, it's true.
And somewhere in that routine, buried under the noise, is a thought they'll never say out loud. I don't want to be here anymore. Not here as in this job, this city, this relationship. Here as in alive. That thought visits more people than anyone will ever admit.
Bro, it's true, man. Especially nowadays, like, so many people are struggling with mental health. Everybody's going through it right now.
It doesn't always come dressed in darkness. Sometimes it arrives as exhaustion so deep sleep doesn't fix it. Sometimes as the feeling that joy happens to other people and you're watching through glass. Sometimes it's just a numbness so complete you can't remember what you were ever excited about. We don't talk about this. We've built an entire civilization around not talking about it. Therapy reframes it. Religion promises it ends. Medication quiets it. Entertainment buries it under enough stimulation that you forget for a few hours that something is deeply.
It ain't even just that, bro. It's like, why does this thing always lose in focus? It's like entertainment and all the bullshit, bro. Entertainment and all the bullshit. Bro, what is wrong with my camera, dog? Bro, fuck this damn camera. Anyway, what I was trying to say, I guess I'm just gonna be blurry, bro, because of this fucking camera. Finally, it focuses. Anyway, what I was trying to say is that, it's literally not like the entertainment, all the TikTok, all the bullshit, bro, all the entertainment is like, it's literally like, what did the Romans do to entertain the people, bro? They made a Colosseum, like, bro. It's the same aspect with all the TV shows we watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, our phones, we're all just being fucking distracted from, like, the actual problem with our system and fucking modern life.
Structurally wrong. But the thought survives. It always survives. This isn't going to comfort you. This is going to say the things that are true. We are taught that hope is sacred, that it's what separates us from animals, that without it, we're broken. But look at what hope actually does in your life. Hope kept you in a relationship 3 years past the point you knew it was dead. Hope kept you at a job that was killing you slowly because maybe next quarter, maybe next review, maybe if I just work harder. Hope is what you feel standing in front of a slot machine after you've already lost, the irrational biological conviction that the next pull is different. That's not virtue, that's a cognitive trap, and society has industrialized it. Every structure that needs your compliance, corporations, governments, religions, the financial system, runs on your hope. They don't need you happy, they need you almost happy. They need you close enough to the thing you want that you keep pulling the lever. Hope is not the light at the end of the tunnel. Hope is what keeps you walking.
And bro, that's the thing, is like nowadays, like people are losing hope, dude. Like the American dream, shit, not just America, like the global economy in general right now is in the dirt. And a lot of people, bro, like you see mental illness is just spreading throughout this country, especially like all the mass shootings, dude. You can just see it, bro, in public. Like people are just on edge.
Through a tunnel that has no end, convinced it does. Hopeless people are called broken. But what if they're the only ones who are actually seeing clearly? What if the person who has stopped expecting tomorrow to be better has simply stopped hallucinating? What if clarity looks like despair from the inside of the illusion? The people who built this system understood something. A person who has given up hope is ungovernable. They can't be bribed with a promotion. They can't be silenced with a mortgage. They can't be manipulated with the threat of losing something they no longer believe they'll have. So hopelessness had to be pathologized, medicated, institutionalized. The clear-eyed person had to become the sick one, because if they were right, everything collapses. I'm not telling you to abandon hope as a prescription. I'm telling you to look at it honestly. Ask what it's actually delivered. Measure it against your life, not against the story you've been told about your life. Those are different things, radically different. The happiness industry is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Sit with that for a moment. If happiness were achievable, if the books, retreats, supplements, apps, therapists, coaches, and content actually worked, the industry would shrink. You'd buy something once, get happy, and be done. The industry grows.
Bro, that's so true, dude. That's so true. Like, so much of our shit is designed for us to just have cheap dopamine, like, to just, like, bro, all we do, our food, like, our food especially, all the bullshit sugar, fucking, sugar, salt, high fructose corn syrup, you know, dude, they put so much garbage in our fucking food. Like, you go to any restaurant, any fucking fast food place, it's all just fucking soda. Like, diabetes is running rampant, obesity is running rampant in this fucking country because dude, not just our food, but like fucking everything we do is designed for quick fix, dopamine distractions, bro. We're all fucking glued to our fucking phones. I don't even know where my phone is right now. But like, it's true, dude. It's true, I'm sure they probably had cures for cancer, cures for a lot of shit, but it's just all about fucking money. And bro, like I'm telling you, like this whole fucking system in modern day life is fucking designed. I mean, look at the education system, right? It was literally designed by Henry Ford, right? It was literally designed to make fucking factory workers. Like we're literally school has bells and different classes, like you know, like schedules. Like it's basically just training for fucking. It is training for factory fucking workers, and it's basically just people how well people can memorize random bullshit. And half the time, the teachers aren't even fucking teaching good any nowadays, and all the kids are just fucking using ChatGPT for everything. Bro, I'm telling you, like the '90s and 2000s were like the last fucking good generation, dog. We're fucked.
Because it doesn't work. It's designed not to work. It's designed to create a permanent monetizable gap between you and how you feel, filled with products that address symptoms and never touch the cause. The cause is this: you are living inside a system that was not designed for your flourishing. It was designed for your productivity.
True, literally what I was just saying.
Thing, and confusing them is the source of most modern suffering. From birth, you were measured. Developmental milestones, school grades, test scores, class rank, salary, job title, net worth, body weight, follower count. You were never a person to the system. You were a metric, a unit of output. And when the output started to...
Bro, that's so fucking true, man. Like, everybody, bro, you can see it with, like, everybody. Everybody is never just fucking, like, everybody's got fucking their own, what do you call it, like, self-esteem issues, dude. Everybody's so concerned about how much money they got, what fucking clothes they're wearing, you know, their job, how fucking tall they are, you know, like, bro, everybody, bro, comparison is a thief of fucking joy. And especially with, like, nowadays with social media and fucking everything, bro, it's like, they're trying, like, I'm telling you, like, people are comparing themselves way more, and this is like gotten even worse, I feel like, nowadays, like, yeah.
declining, when the anxiety got too loud, when the motivation collapsed, when you couldn't perform anymore, they didn't ask what was wrong with the system, they asked what was wrong with you. That inversion is violent, and most people never recover from it because they accept the premise. They go looking for what's broken inside themselves, hiring guides to fix something that was never broken, that was responding rationally to irrational conditions. You're not depressed because your brain chemistry is wrong. Your brain chemistry is responding to a life that doesn't fit a human being. Those are different diagnoses.
Bro, like, literally. Like, so many people, like, if you just fucking have half a brain and you wake up and you see the goddamn system and you just see life in a bigger picture and you realize that you're just making other people fucking rich and you're, you know, like, bro, like, it's almost impossible not, like, I feel like I'm jealous of people that just work and live in their own bubble and don't like look at politics or don't look at anything that's going on in the world or don't look at life in the bigger picture, because I swear to God, like, they're happier, dude. Like, when you actually start looking into things and going down the rabbit hole, like, bro, it's hard not to you know what I'm saying? Like,
with different cures, and the system will only ever offer you the first one because the second one implicates them. There's a moment, and most people who are honest will recognize it.
And why do you think like depression and like mental health is going down the drain lately, bro? The phones, the constant comparison, the system we have right now is not working. Everybody is overworked, dude, stressed out. Like, everything's too damn expensive, bro. Like, I honestly don't know how long this is gonna fucking like last, bro, until some crazy shit goes down.
Where continuing takes more effort than you have, and quitting makes more sense than anything you've been told. Not quitting life, quitting the narrative, quitting the premise that persistence is inherently noble, quitting the idea that endurance is its own reward. We're taught that giving up is failure, but we're never asked, what are we giving up? What are we being asked to persist through, and for whose benefit? If you're running a race and halfway through you realize the finish line doesn't exist, that the organizers invented it, that the prize was never real, that your exhaustion is literal and the reward is metaphorical, continuing isn't brave. It's a refusal to process information. The people who walk off that track are not quitters. They're the only ones who updated their beliefs when the evidence changed. The will to stop is the mind refusing to be gaslit. It's the psyche drawing a line. And the reason it's treated as pathology is because it's dangerous, not to you, but to the machine that runs on your continuance. Think about how we talk about people who've burned out completely, who've walked away from careers and families and entire lives that looked successful from outside. We say they had a breakdown, but sometimes what looks like a breakdown is a breakthrough, a shattering of a persona that was never real, an exit from a performance that was never sustainable. The person lying on the floor at 3 a.m. is not failing. They may be the first honest version of themselves they've ever been. The floor is real. The ceiling they built, the self-concept, the ambition, the carefully managed identity, that was the fiction. You did not consent to being born. This should be an obvious statement. It is treated as either trivial or offensive, which tells you everything about how deeply we need to avoid examining it. You were brought into existence without your knowledge, without your agreement, into a specific body, a specific family, a specific economic class, a specific country, at a specific moment in history, none of which you selected. You were handed a starting position in a game already in progress and told to be grateful. And the suffering begins before you're old enough to name it. Before language, before memory, the nervous system is already learning. It's already deciding whether the world is safe or not. It's already shaping the architecture of how you'll respond to everything that follows.
Bro, we're all just programmed.
Your cortisol patterns were being laid down in the womb. Your attachment style was forming in the first months of life. The person you're going to be, the anxieties, the defaults, the wounds, was being written.
And a lot of it's passed down from your parents, you know? Like, generational trauma is just passed down all the time, man. It's just bullshit, dude. It's just bullshit. Like, me, for example, I was put on ADD medication when I was in the first grade. like because I didn't want to fucking sit down and listen to the teachers. But it's like most kids at that fucking age, bro, they don't want to fucking sit down. They want to go around and play and do shit. But no, let's throw them on amphetamines because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to sit down and listen to a teacher just fucking talk. And like half the time, the teachers are fucking boring as shit and don't even teach you half like anything.
Before you could speak. And then, when you're old enough, they hand you the bill. Work, perform, contribute, justify your existence. Because the system that didn't ask you before creating you has now decided you owe it something. Ingratitude toward life is considered a moral failure.
Yep.
But what is gratitude owed to something you didn't request? You can be grateful for specific things, a moment, a person, a sensation. But blanket gratitude for existence itself, performed as obligation, is not gratitude, it's submission. The people who feel this most acutely, who sense the fundamental wrongness of being conscripted into a life they didn't choose, are usually the most honest people in any room. They're the ones who make everyone else uncomfortable because they're naming something everyone feels and no one is supposed to say. At some point, someone told you that you needed to find your purpose. Maybe it was a teacher, a self-help book, a TED Talk, a crisis of your own where you reached out for something to hold on to and they handed you this idea. You have a reason for being here, you just need to find it. It felt like comfort. It was architecture. Purpose is the most sophisticated form of social control ever devised because it makes the cage feel like a calling. It makes the labor feel sacred. It makes the person who has been entirely subsumed by a role, parent, employee.
Bro, it literally gives us a reason to live, dog. Like, all of us, I feel like, go through this crisis at some point in their lives. Whether it's finding a certain hobby or passion or sport or anything. Like, me personally, one of the biggest things for me is, like, my wife, bro. Like, my wife gives me purpose. Big time. Thank God for her.
Employee, believer, patriot, feel not lost, but found. But notice what purpose requires. It requires that your suffering means something. It requires that your sacrifices be justified. It requires that there is a story with a shape, an arc, a point, and that you are essential to it. None of that is true. And on some level,
bro, nothing is more terrifying to humans and people in general than the fact that we're arguably just floating on a fucking rock in the middle of space and the entire universe is indifferent from us and we could be wiped off the face of the fucking planet in a fucking heartbeat from a goddamn solar burst or whatever the fuck, or what do you call those things? Gamma ray burst, bro. Like essentially, arguably, if you're not religious, life is completely fucking meaningless. And that honestly is probably like the biggest, like, humankind's biggest fear in general.
you know it. Your suffering doesn't mean anything. Pain doesn't have narrative function. Cancer doesn't happen because a story required a protagonist to be tested. Poverty isn't a character arc. The bad things happened because the universe is not a story. It's a process, indifferent, mechanical, without a screenwriter. Purpose is what you overlay on top of that indifference so you can survive it. And there's nothing wrong with doing that, as long as you know that's what you're doing.
Religion's a big one.
The problem is when the overlay becomes the territory, when you're so committed to the story of your purpose that you can no longer see or respond to what's actually happening. Religions built empires on this. You suffer because it's a test. You suffer because it's God's plan. You suffer because you're working off cosmic debt. These are not answers. They're sedatives with mythological packaging. Corporations learn from this. We have a mission. We're changing the world. You're not clocking in, you're contributing to something larger.
Bro, I'm telling you, everything's been put into place. All of our religions, everything we're taught, our history, bro, everything. It's all by design.
Than yourself. Meanwhile, the CEO takes home 400 times your salary, and the pension gets cut, and the mission statement gets updated every 3 years to match the market. The individual has learned it too. I suffer because I'm becoming. I struggle because I'm not yet who I'm meant to be. And this story is renewable. You can always be in the process of becoming. You never have to arrive. The suffering is always almost over. That's not enlightenment. That's a con you've run on yourself so many times you forgot it was a con. Real freedom, the kind that's almost never sold because it can't be, is not finding your purpose. It's losing the compulsion to have one. It's standing in front of the void and not flinching, not filling it, not narrating it, just seeing it.
Yep.
Most people can't do that for 30 seconds.
Yep.
Name one moment today when your mind was completely still. Not asleep, not medicated, not entertained, just still. Present with what is, without running from it.
Bro, I do
Most
that
people cannot. Most
with
people
my
have
job
not
as
had
a
genuinely
sandblaster.
quiet
I do
mind
this
in
a lot.
years, because the moment the noise stops, something surfaces, something they've been running from, something real. The entire attention economy exists to prevent that moment.
Yep.
Every notification, every scroll, every
All
autoplay,
just
every
keeping ourselves
recommendation
distracted.
algorithm is a system designed by very intelligent people to ensure that the silence never comes.
Yep.
That you were always consuming, always stimulated, always one
Yep.
dopamine hit away from forgetting what you were about to feel.
Mhm.
This is not accidental. The business model requires your dissociation. Your presence, real presence in your own life with your own thoughts, is the one thing the economy cannot monetize. But your distraction, your anxiety, your comparison, your inadequacy, your craving,
Exactly.
that's the raw material. That's what they're selling to advertisers.
Bro, and it's so fucking obvious, dude. It's so obvious. Like, Instagram is like a perfect example of that, bro. Like, it's so bad.
You are not the customer. You are the product. The product is your fractured attention, your manufactured desire, your engineered dissatisfaction. And it works because the thing it's distracting you from is real. The silence is uncomfortable because what's in the silence is true. The loneliness, the meaninglessness, the slow erosion of time, the growing suspicion that you have not lived but merely performed a life, all of that is waiting in the quiet. So we choose the noise, voluntarily,
Yup.
gratefully.
Yup.
We pay for it.
You see it every day, bro. People be talking about, sports, meaningless bullshit, dog. Nobody wants to ever have meaningful conversations. Nobody actually cares how you're doing. Nobody every dude, like 99% of conversations nowadays are just so shallow, bro. Like nobody, dude, everybody's just wearing a fucking mask.
Most radical act available to a person right now is to sit with a discomfort until it speaks. Not to fix it, not to reframe it, to let it say what it's been trying to say while you were busy looking at your phone. Most people will never do this. Not because they can't, because what they'd hear would require them to change everything. We are told that love is the answer, that connection is what makes life worth living, that if you have the right people around you, everything else is bearable. There is truth in this. There's also something darker underneath it that no one says. Most relationships are not unions between whole people. They are arrangements between incomplete ones.
Yep.
Two people bringing their wounds to each other and
Yep.
calling it love.
Yep.
Using each other as mirrors.
Bro, it's so true, man. Everybody's got some kind of, baggage or demons or whatnot, or trauma, you know what I'm saying?
To confirm a self-image, using each other as medicine for a loneliness that actually requires surgery. We fall in love with the idea of being seen, but the moment someone actually sees us, not the performance, not the managed version, but the real interior, we panic. We pull back, we start managing the image again. Because the real interior is the thing we've spent the most energy hiding, from ourselves as much as anyone else. This creates a particular hell. The loneliness of being surrounded by people who know your name, but not your actual experience. The performance of intimacy where real intimacy is too dangerous. The way you can sit at a dinner table with people who love you and feel more invisible than if you were alone. That's not dysfunction. That's the architecture of most human relationships. And admitting it doesn't make you broken, it makes you honest. The person who says,
True.
I have never felt truly known by anyone, is usually dismissed as having intimacy issues, but they may be accurately describing an experience that is far more common than we admit, and that our culture has no framework for. Because the framework it has is the story that love solves it. That if you just find the right person, open up enough, work hard enough on the relationship, the fundamental aloneness of being a conscious creature in a separate body will dissolve. It won't. It can't. And pretending otherwise is the source of most relationship suffering. the gap between what we need love to be and what love can actually do. Everything else you've been told is negotiable. The meaning, the purpose, the relationships, the progress, all of it is interpretation, narrative, overlay. Death is not. You will die. Everyone you love will die. Everything you've built will be forgotten. The sun will eventually expand and incinerate this planet, and there will be...
Bro, that's like one of the hardest things to grasp about life, dude. It's like... And you notice that, like, nobody ever wants to talk about it, ever, bro. We all just walk around and pretend like we're not gonna die, basically.
no record that any of it happened. Most people spend their entire lives not thinking about this, building routines and identities and legacies specifically designed to not think about this. The Legacy Project, children, achievements, art, memory, is not about the future. It's a psychological defense against the present reality of impermanence.
That's so true, bro. Like, if you think about it, right? Like, in the next 100, 200 years, nobody's gonna know who you are, bro. Like, majority of people, like 99%, maybe like the celebrities and super famous people, history, whatnot. Or give that another 1,000 years, we'll probably be extinct from nuclear war. Who the hell knows what else? Essentially, everything we do is just going to be forgotten anyway. It's crazy.
But here's what facing it actually does, if you let it. It removes the wrong urgency and installs the right one. When you actually sit with your death, not as a concept, but as a fact, your specific death coming for you already in motion, the trivial stops being urgent. The thing you were anxious about in the meeting stops mattering. The grudge stops being worth carrying. The performance stops feeling necessary. And in that space, sometimes something true can happen. Not meaning not the manufactured kind, but contact, real contact, with the actual texture of your life, which is brief,
this is a good
unrepeatable, and happening right now while you're planning the future or processing the past. This is not comfort. It's not supposed to be. Comfort keeps you managed. This is something more useful. Accuracy. The person who has genuinely accepted their death, not theoretically, not as a spiritual concept, but viscerally, physically accepted it, is the freest person in any room. They cannot be threatened. They cannot be bought. They cannot be manipulated through fear of loss because they've already made peace with the largest loss of all. Every authoritarian structure, every manipulative relationship, every anxiety-driven culture runs on your terror of death. Remove that terror, not by denying it, but by facing it until it loses its charge.
Dude, I've always said that. Like, I feel like almost everything that's been created by humans is just based off of our fear of death. Like, everything we do, bro. Everything. Work, music, art, you know, like, almost everything, I feel like, in a way, is either caused from our fear of death or as a distraction.
And most of what holds the system together falls apart.
As dark and morbid as that sounds, it's terrible, bro.
The people held up as examples, the ones who performed through tragedy, who never broke, who kept going when everything collapsed, are not the healthiest people. They're often the most dissociated. The ability to continue as if nothing is wrong is not a virtue. It's a survival mechanism that, like all survival mechanisms, costs something. It costs the felt sense of your own life. It costs the ability to be moved by things. It costs the body, which keeps score of everything the mind refuses to process and eventually presents the bill, in illness, in burnout, in the breakdown that was inevitable from the beginning. We celebrate the person who doesn't cry at the funeral. We call them strong, but that person is paying a price that will come due somewhere else, usually somewhere private, usually much later, usually much harder. The person who breaks openly, who cries when things are painful, who falls apart when the loss is real, who cannot perform fine when they are not fine, is not weak. They are biologically accurate.
Bro, I've always said
they are letting
this.
the body do what it's supposed to do when the conditions are real. We have constructed a culture in which the authentic response to hard things is a clinical symptom, And the suppression of that response is a mark of character.
Yeah, bro, you gotta be a man. Men don't cry, right? You can't show weakness.
This is exactly backwards, and it is killing people slowly and quietly in ways that never get counted. If you've stayed with this, there's a reason. Not because life is secretly beautiful and you're close to finding it. Not because I'm about to tell you it gets better. You've heard that, it didn't land because it wasn't honest. But there is something on the other side of the lie. Not meaning, not happiness, something quieter and more durable than both. When you stop trying to be fine and start being honest about what is actually happening inside you, something releases. Not all at once, but something. The energy it takes to maintain a false version of yourself is enormous, and most people don't know that until they stop doing it, until they say to themselves or to someone else, I am not okay. I haven't been okay. I don't know if I've ever been okay, and I'm done pretending I am. That's not the bottom. That's the first real solid ground. When you stop needing life to mean something, you stop being betrayed by it when it doesn't. You stop the cycle of building significance and then collapsing when the significance reveals itself as invented. You start meeting what's actually here, as it actually is, without requiring it to be otherwise. And what's actually here is strange and brutal, and occasionally, in moments that don't need explanation, astonishingly specific and vivid and real. Not beautiful, real. There's a difference. Beautiful is a story told about experience. Real is the experience itself, before the story, in your body, in the moment, exactly as it is. And real is something that can't be taken from you, because it's not a belief, it's not a hope. It doesn't require the future to validate it. You can't be sold that. You can't be manipulated through it. You can't be threatened with the loss of it. It's just here, right now, underneath everything you've been told you need. Most people will never reach it, not because they're incapable, because it requires giving up the lies that feel safer than the truth. And that's the hardest thing a human being can do. Not because the truth is unbearable, but because we have built our entire identity on the lies that protected us from it.
Ego.
You made it to the end, not because this was inspiring, because something in you needed it to be said. This channel doesn't make comfortable content. It makes true content. There's a difference, and the difference is why it's difficult to keep going on platforms designed for comfort and optimized for compliance. If this reached something in you, share it. Not to grow a channel, because someone you know is sitting with thoughts like these alone, thinking they're the only one, and they're not. And if you want to support the work, super thanks helps a lot. Either way, you watched, you thought, you felt something. That matters.
That was a good video. There's a lot of truth in that. Channel's a turnover of TM. This is a good channel, man. That was a good video. It goes really deep. Like, yeah, that was a very good video. Well, thanks for watching, you guys. I think eventually here I'm gonna change up, make some, maybe, you know, some happy, maybe funny content. I don't know, but I saw this video today and I just thought it would be a really good video to make or to commentate. But anyway, thank y'all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I hope y'all have a wonderful, blessed day.